Why do we enjoy horror games so much? Since I was a little kid with sticky hands and Fanta stains on my lips, I always had this fascination with horror in general. Video games, movies, stories, there's something really captivating in what horror makes me feel. It's not that I'm obsessed with being scared, because I don't really like getting scared. I'm a real for horror games, and most of the time I prefer to watch someone play the game instead of playing it myself. But that doesn't stop me from getting invested and drawn into what's happening in the game. And it's really interesting for me because one would think that seeing weird and obscure shit would make you say something like,
"Ew, that's gross."
Am I? Why would 10-year-old me be interested in something as bizarre as exploring the dark and deep atmosphere of Silent Hill, walking really close to the right side of the road so no monster crawls into my face? Why do we make James insert his arm into creepy holes in a wall? Well, you might say the game cannot continue if you don't do that. It's something else, because I bet if there's absolutely no reason to make James insert his arm into the creepy hole, you still do it, you creepy bastard. Even if you think it's kinda gross. Our curiosity is stronger, and we are a pretty messed up species. That's why you make lions search in the dirty well, and James searched things in some really disgusting toilet. We want to see what happens, but
why is that?
What's morbid curiosity? I cannot pronounce that. Do you know why anytime someone witnesses an accident they turn their head to see what's going on? Well, that's morbid curiosity. Even though it would be more appropriate to maybe try to not look to avoid making the poor guy who crashed his car into the pole feel worse. But at the same time, your brain is like,
"Oh, I want to know what happened. I want to appreciate everything. Oh, it was a brand new car. My stomach."
And curiosity is a really powerful thing. It has made me go through entire games even though I was sweating and definitely not having a relaxing time. But my curiosity made me open every damn and creepy room. It made me walk through every tiny corner of every dreadful scenery. It made me do flips to dodge the damn zombie animals, the smelly ghost girls, and all the crazy lunatics. It's something that speaks to me on a level that I don't quite understand, and it makes it incredibly satisfying to search for each monster's backstory on YouTube and listen to their analysis. To guess what little ugly Lisa Trevor from Resident Evil has to go through to transform into this equally ugly creature really caused me morbid curiosity. But also, there is something really special about the attention to detail in these type of games. The finesse with which their music is crafted, the character designs, the storytelling, and I also like the fact that they touch on more mature themes. And that brings us to... There are really few games, movies, TV series that focus entirely on the exploration of what's so-called dark emotions. And I think it's really important to not only explore good emotions, to not only watch love stories, to not only have a good time watching comedies. I think to be a fully well-rounded and sexy human being, you also need to be comfortable with exploring the range of emotions that most people choose to ignore. Playing horror games helps you understand the human psyche a little bit better, and to understand our own psyche as well, to see our own emotions reflected in a character in a video game, to experience, hear, and feel the feelings of sadness, despair, emptiness in a controlled environment. And I think that's why Silent Hill is so remembered by everyone. Silent Hill is a game that really brings the hidden parts of our minds to reality. It shows a variety of characters that are suffering from a wide range of emotions. Characters that experience a huge deal of trauma in their lives, and it makes us understand them and their archetype a little bit more. And with the help of music, atmosphere, dialogues, it helps us bring up these feelings that we also have inside. It makes us feel nostalgia, sadness, the feeling of losing someone just by hearing a song. It brings to the table topics that make us reflect. It makes us feel comfortable with our own emotions. Horror games are such a vibe. I love how they feel beautiful even when they're horrible. You know how sometimes you are sad, really sad, and well, you search for sad music, and it feels like getting deep into Like sometimes it feels good to feel so bad, and well, the body can get kinda addicted to bad feelings, sadness, emptiness, stress, being tense and scared. I think the reason why we like horror games so much, it's because it's one of the few genres that explore the feeling of sadness and apathy so well. Sometimes we don't have someone who could relate to these kind of feelings. Not everyone is comfortable speaking about things like this. It's not something you can really discuss with your parents either.
Mom, Dad, sometimes, even though everything's okay, I feel this intense feeling of stillness inside. Like the feeling of complete emptiness. The feeling of being stuck in a never-ending dream. And then it just passes away and I feel happy again.
So playing Silent Hill and suddenly feeling so immersed in this range of emotions feel comforting somehow. I really wanted to know more. I wanted to understand and explore, to try to understand the characters, their feelings, and being surrounded by the many things that evoke these sort of feelings in me. And well, I was a really depressed adolescent. So I think I searched for refuge in games like Silent Hill. They felt a bit safer compared to an environment I didn't really have control over, like high school. Hearing the soundtrack of Silent Hill made me feel good. And it also made me feel less alone because I related to how people felt about Silent Hill. I somewhat think every Silent Hill fan is a little bit messed up. And that's a good thing. I think experiencing some level of deep shit in life really helps build your character. Like, I relate to people that like Silent Hill in a way that I could never relate to someone that only liked Ash from Pokemon. And even if you were not severely depressed at one point in your life, I think being brave enough to explore these kind of feelings in a game makes you a really cool person. So if sometimes you are having a shitty day and you go to YouTube to search for the soundtrack of Resident Evil to feel a little bit better and maybe pause all the shit that is happening in your life, I get you, and it's okay. Have you ever noticed that most horror stories are told from the victim's perspective? For some reason, the satisfaction and catharsis don't come from the person or creature dealing pain. The catharsis come from the victim experience, unless you are a really creepy person. The protagonist who goes through all the horror overcomes his limits and concludes the adventure. This way, we have the opportunity to experience the emotions of the protagonist, the struggles, terror, fear, stress, to conquer the obstacles and barely get off of it alive. And we can experience all of this from a safe environment, and that can be oddly satisfying. But why would we want to experience all of this? Well, for the same reason that sometimes we listen to a sad song when we are sad, as I said in the previous point. Sometimes these feelings are already overflowing inside of us and we need to get them out. It is no coincidence that women are the primary audience of true crime. It's the same feeling here. Experiencing horrible crimes in a safe environment helps to understand and prevent violence in their own lives and helps to deal with their own fear of something horrible happening to them as well. Or maybe observing their own traumas reflected in someone else provides an opportunity to emotionally process what occurred and all the emotions that go along with it. Although this is not always the case, sometimes listening to sad songs in the wrong state of mind can lead us to be sadder without any sense of release of relief. It all depends on the person or even the day. But when it does,
it feels good, man. It feels really good.
Anyway, there are a lot of simpler reasons why we enjoy horror games, like wanting to experience the adrenaline rush of being chased by thousands of zombies. But I wanted to bring up these points in the video because they felt a bit more personal than just saying
I like killing zombies and ugly creatures.
Horror games are really cool. I love how they pretty much have everything I love in a game. Beautiful soundtracks, captivating narratives, rich worlds full of details everywhere, real characters with real problems, puzzles to overcome. I mean, when they are done correctly. And I love the fact that I can experience some of these feelings by just searching for the soundtrack on YouTube. Do you think I'm overanalyzing this? Why do you like horror so much? Hope you liked the video and remember to leave a like for Sally. I know I could have used a lot of examples to talk about horror games, but you know, Silent Hill is my go-to game because, well, it does everything so well that it's easier to use it as an example. But there are dozens of titles that are dear to my heart for the same reason as Silent Hill. I hope you have a really amazing week and consider subscribing if you like my content. Thanks so much for the comments on the previous video and I hope you had a great week again. See you in the next video. Bye bye.